Hi everybody, my name is Carl from Adolf Saxon Company. I don't know if you noticed, but the world seems to be on fire. And I'm specifically trying so hard not to talk about the American elections. You guys, you kept us on our toes. Some of you might be aware that I am making a limited edition series of 193 saxophones made from recycled World War One and Two battlefield artillery shells, such as these. In a national collection campaign, I managed to gather over 1,000 kilos of these bombshells, and we unified these bombshells in a factory in the Netherlands. Very symbolically, friends and foes, British, German, French, American bombshells, I think even some Russian bombshells, all unified in the furnace and cleansed of all impurifications. Also, toxins were removed, such as lead, and we turned that into new sheet metal. That new sheet metal is being now turned into these unique saxophones. This is a bell of one of these saxophones. Um, Very symbolically, objects of hate turned into instruments of harmony. And the inspiration for this project came by reading an old prophecy about one day there will be peace. And I know it seems very unlikely if you look around, but it is found in on the Isaiah wall near the UN building in New York. It originates from the Tanakh, from the Old Testament, and it says, and I'm paraphrasing, and then they will beat down their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks, and warfare they shall not learn anymore. And it really got to me, and it really inspired me. I'm not ashamed to admit it, but I'm an idealist. I believe we can make a difference. You can make a difference. I can make a difference. And if you doubt the fact that one person can make the difference, just look how we talk about history. BC AD, all based on the life of one person. And do you remember COVID? Families were split apart, friendships were lost over a vaccine mandate. And now, the American elections, guys, I see so much hatred and division and vitriol. Um, if you cannot see your neighbor as a human being because he or she voted for the other candidate, then you have a problem. You swallow the bitter pill of hatred. And I don't know if you noticed, but you are turning into the thing that you are trying to fight against. Um, some politicians thrive on divide and conquer. And in a way, politicians seem to be a necessary evil, although I'm not really sure about the necessary in that sentence. But if we allow this to continue, you will destroy the world you live in. I don't want our kids to clean up the mess that we're about to create for the next few decades. We really need to step up our game. And thanks to this project Sax for Pax, and you can look it up for yourself, it's on Sax4, the number 4, sax4pax.com. Thanks to this project, I've been invited several times to speak about this project, and I developed a lecture series on war, peace, and tolerance. And this one instance, it's a while ago, I was invited in a local school, and these kids were around the age of 10, 11 years old. And I was about to speak on the topic of World War One. They asked me to talk about. And I went and explained to these kids that I could factually prove that World War One, World War Two, and the genocide in former Yugoslavia in the early 90s is all connected to one instance on June the 28th of 1389, where a people group was not only conquered by their enemies, but on top of it, they were deeply humiliated. And it all is connected to these conflicts that I just mentioned. And I went and explained to these kids that, yes, sometimes you need to fight your enemies, but do not humiliate your opponent, because that is going to be a boomerang hitting you in your face so hard that you will regret the day that you did it. And as we are heading to November the 11th, armistice, I just felt compelled to make this video. Remember, World War One was marketed as the war to end all wars, and boy, did we fail that promise big time. So this is my plea, guys. We need to step up. Love your neighbor as yourself. But if you don't love yourself, make sure to make that a priority. and turn this world into a better place for the sake of the next generation. Thank you for watching this video.